Hello guys, how you doing? You okay? Thank you so much for being here with me in Knowledge TV. There's my YouTube channel that I've just created. So basically, there's my first video that I'm bringing out to you. So if I'm a little bit nervous or if it doesn't look too professional, please do forgive me because this is my first video. Okay? So like I said, thank you so much. My name is Tapiwa, aka Taps, and I'm gonna be your host on this channel. And basically, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be sharing ideas. We're gonna be learning from each other, and we're gonna be sharing things. Things that you might know, things that I might know, things that probably I've just find out, and things that you probably just find out. So basically, I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown of what exactly we're going to be doing on this channel. So, actually, before I do that, let me just give you a quick little summary about my interest as far as knowledge is concerned. I'm really into things like mythology, ancient mythology, astrotheology, motifs and symbols, um, esoteric knowledge, hidden knowledge, occult knowledge, astrology, spiritualism or spirituality, anything that is like kind of like mystic, kind of like mysterious stuff. I really into it. And the other thing is I am an independent researcher. I do research things. I write articles. Actually, at the moment, I'm in the middle of writing my own book, my first book. So you better watch out for that. I haven't got a proper title for it. I'm kind of like between in the middle of between like two or three potential titles. So I don't want to give you any. I don't want to name any title just yet. So, but I'll keep you informed. I'll tell you how far I'm getting on with that book. Anyway, so as you can tell, the title of the video today is called Introduction: What is in your book library collection. I thought the best way to give you some kind of like a rough idea of the trajectory of this channel is if I come to you and show you my book collection. Hopefully that way that will give you a quick idea of exactly um, what this channel is all about. And I have to admit, some of the things that I deal with are a bit controversial. Some of them a bit questionable. Some of them will get you into trouble because it's like hidden knowledge that you're like exposing to people. And the thing about people is that people just don't like any people do not like the truth. If you tell people anything that is truthful, people will hate you for it. Uh, I've found out that so many times. So making this video channel is kind of therapeutical to me because I can kind of like talk, you know, talk to somebody out there. If I get like one or two listeners, I don't care. I mean, that's good enough for me. Because as long as I can just share my knowledge, and my ideas and information that I've researched and find out to the people, to the masses. You know what I mean? So, okay, without further ado, I just thought I will show you the book I'm actually reading at the very moment. I've only started reading it about 2 weeks ago, and I'm nearly halfway through it. It is called Astrotheology and Shamanism: Christianity's Pagan Roots, and it was written by Jan Irvin and Andrew Rutherford. Right, there you have it. So let me just run through a quick summary at the back of the book about it. It says here, we live in a world of paired opposites. All things in the field of time come in twos. This offers comfort and predictability by allowing neat compartments for diverse things, but also leads to elaborately complex symbols and belief systems over time. Christianity, as with Hinduism, has been conceptualized as a tree growing up from a solid platform. But what you don't see are the roots and fruits, the mystery that helped spawned these traditions. The mystery is, however, revealed in various art forms, um, often hidden away or obscured in some clever fashion. All these traditions, Egypt, Mesopotamian, Indus Valley, have their origins in shamanic experiences with mind altering substances. This was not recreational, this was serious business. Jan Arvin and Andrew Rutherford have captured this tone and perspective in Astrotheology and Shamanism, a well written with clear definition. But if you think Jesus was a real person, you are in for a bumpy ride. As you can tell, um, the kind of things I deal with are kind of like controversial. So really, not everybody's gonna like this channel. Not everybody's gonna like the things that we're gonna be sharing here. But hey, such is life. You can't win it. You can't win them all, right? So yeah, that's the book I'm reading at the moment. So all right, second book I've got here is called Gods of Eden. Egypt's lost legacy and the genesis of civilization. So, Gods of Eden, Egypt's lost legacy, and the genesis of civilization. It was written by Andrew Collins. Okay, got that? There you have it. So, a quick summary at the back again. In this groundbreaking book, Andrew Collins unlocks the secrets of the Great Pyramid, built using a technology unequaled even today. The ancient Egyptians claimed they inherited their advanced culture from a race of elder gods responsible for the construction of their earliest temples and monuments. Who was this ancient race that carved the great Sphinx? Did it employ the use of sound to raise heavy objects into the air and pierce holes through solid rocks? Wow. I haven't actually read it, but it sounds very, very fascinating. So there you have it, Gods of Eden. Right. Okay. Next book I have got is surprise, surprise. Some people are gonna be shocked that I read this book too. It's by His Royal Highness Dalai Lama. It's called The Art of Happiness. There you go. Yeah. The Art of Happiness by His Royal Highness, the Royal Highness Dalai Lama. I think it was written as well with contribution from Howard C. Cutler. So at the back of this book, The Art of Happiness by His Royal Highness Dalai Lama, it says, in this unique and important book, one of the world's greatest spiritual leaders offers his practical wisdom and advice on how we can overcome everyday human problems and achieve lasting happiness. So there you have it, The Art of Happiness. Okay, let's move along. The other book that I've got in my collection is called The Angio Therapy. The Angio Therapy, Healing Messages for Every Area of Your Life. It's written by Doreen Virtue, PhD. Doreen Virtue, PhD. I suppose you got a PhD, right? So there you have it. Yeah. At the back it says, Dr. Doreen's okay. In angel therapy, Doreen delivers the angelic realms messages of comfort and guidance that can help you with troubling emotions such as depression, boredom, confusion, and anger, and issues associated with careers, relationships, parenting, and much more. So it's already sounds fascinating, and I just bought this actually last week, so I haven't read it yet. So it should be fascinating to read it. Right. What else have I got here? What up? I've got a book called "The Third Jesus: The Christ We Cannot Ignore." It was written by Deepak Chopra. So this is the third Jesus, the Christ we cannot ignore by Deepak Chopra. Can you see it? Actually, this book, I have actually finished reading it. It's a really, really fascinating book. I'm not going to spoil the beans to anyone who hasn't read it yet, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what's in it. But it's a really, really fascinating book, and it's really helped me with my research into the book that I am writing at the moment. So, a quick summary at the back of the book, it says. Hold on, these are just reviews by other people. Okay, this is just a review by somebody else. I'll just read it anyway. Jesus has now long since escaped the confines of church, Christianity, and even religions. Chopra's book thoughtfully presents a Jesus who is paradoxically both closer to the original and more available to postmodern people than the stained glass version. The book is bound to provoke admiration and condemnation, which, come to think of it, uh, the maverick Galilean the maverick Galilean rabbi also did. Okay, that's Jesus who is being referred to here, the maverick Galilean rabbi. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, fascinating book. I've just finished reading this book. Absolutely amazing, and I can recommend it to each and every one of you. Okay, just bear with me. Let's go through the third book, the other books. Right. The other book that I've got is called The Healing Wisdom of Africa. The Healing Wisdom of Africa, Finding Purpose Through Nature, Ritual, and Community. So that's the Healing Wisdom of Africa, Finding Life Purpose Through Nature, Ritual, and Community. It was written by Malidoma Patrice Some, and he's the author of another book called Of Water and the Spirit. So there you have it. Beautiful book. Okay. Ed Mackey says a fascinating, dedicated journey through the traditional healings practices of West Africa by a beloved shaman and scholar. Uh, Through the healing wisdom of Africa, readers can come to understand that the life of the life of indigenous and traditional people is a paradigm for an intimate relationship with the natural world that both surrounds us and is within us. This acclaimed book is the most distinctive and complete study of the role ritual plays in the lives of African people and the role it can play for seekers in the West. So, fascinating book for anybody who is into African spirituality, shamanism, nature, like the close bond between African spirituality and in nature itself. So, really, really fascinating book. I haven't actually read it yet, but it's fascinating, as you can tell. Right. The next book that I've got, it might not have come as a surprise to any of you guys here. There you have it. I got the Holy Bible. So I do read the Holy Bible, and it's in my collection. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next book I've got is it was written by Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, an Englishman of the 17th or 18th century, something like that. It's called the Age of Reason. This book I've actually read it. Fascinating book. Beautiful book. Absolutely amazing book. So it's called The Age of Reason by an English gentleman. I think he became an American after, actually, before he died. He died in America, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So, again, quick summary at the back. Thomas Paine, The Age of Reason. Of all the tyrannies that affect mankind, tyranny in religion is the worst, declared Thomas Paine, adding, every other aspect of tyranny is limited to the world we live in, but the attempts to stride beyond the grave and seeks to pursue us into eternity. Let me read that again. Of all the tyrannies that affect mankind, tyranny in religion is the worst, declared Thomas Paine, adding, every other species of tyranny is limited to the world we live in. But this attempts to stride beyond the grave and seeks to pursue us into eternity. Paine's years, Thomas Paine's years of study and reflection on the role of religion in society culminated within this book, The Age of Reason. This coolly reasoned polemic influenced religious thinking throughout the world at the dawn of the 19th century, and its resonance remains undiminished by time. So there you have it, Age of Reason by Thomas Paine. Okay. This book, I think I told you the author already, and this is the second book of his, of Water and Spirits, of Water and the Spirits, Rituals, Magic, and Initiation in the Life of an African Shaman. It's called Of Water and the Spirit, a Ritual, Magic, and Initiation in the Life of an African Shaman. It was written by Malidoma Patrice Some. He is the one who wrote, let me just find it. He's the one who wrote the other book that I've just shown you before, The Healing Wisdom of Africa. So, yeah, Of Water and the Spirit. Okay, it says at the back, among the Dagara of Burkina Faso, there is no distinction between the natural and the supernatural. The living converse with the ancestral spirits, and those with the proper knowledge routinely travel to other worlds. Malidoma Patrice Some was born in a Dagara village, only to be abducted as a small boy and taken to a Jesuit mission school, where for 15 years he was harshly indoctrinated in European ways of thought and worship. When he returned to his people, he had to undergo an initiation so rigorous that it might have killed him. Instead, Malidoma's passage between two worlds resulted in an assignment to convey his people's knowledge to the West, leading to this book of rare healing and wisdom. Of Water and the Spirit is a remarkable sharing of living African traditions offered in compassion for those struggling with our contemporary crisis of the spirit. So there you go. Of Water and the Spirit. Next book I've got in my collection is called The Holographic Universe. It was written by Michael Talbot. So The Holographic Universe, written by Michael Talbot. Hold on 2 seconds. Yeah, it says a remarkable new theory of reality that explains the latest frontiers of physics, the paranormal abilities of the mind, and the unsolved riddles of brain and body. There you go. Despite its apparent materiality, the universe is actually kind of a 3D projection and is ultimately no more real than a hologram. This astonishing idea was pioneered by two of the world's most eminent thinkers, physicist David Bohm, a former protege of Einstein, and the quantum physicist Carl Pribram. The holographic theory of the world encompasses not only reality as we know it, including hitherto unexplained phenomena, but is capable of explaining such occurrences as telepathy, paranormal and out-of-body experiences, synchronicity, lucid dreaming, and even mystical and religious traditions, such as cosmic unity and miraculous healing. So as you can tell, it sounds like a really fascinating book. I've actually read this book long time ago, but I think I'm going to read it again, yeah, pretty soon. So, The Holographic Universe, Michael Talbot. Okay, next book in my library is called The Stolen Legacy. It was written by George G. M. James. The Stolen Legacy, George G. M. James. There you have it. Okay. Okay, it says at the back, the term Greek philosophy to begin with is a misnomer. For there is no such philosophy in existence. The ancient Egyptians had developed a very complex religious system called the mysteries, which was also the first system of salvation. As such, it regarded the human body as a prison house of the soul, which could be liberated from its bodily impairments through the disciplines of the arts and the sciences, and advanced from the level of a mortal to that of a god. This was this was the notion of the greatest good to which all men must aspire, and it also became the basis of all ethical concepts. The Egyptian mystery system was also a secret order, and membership was gained by initiation and a pledge to secrecy. The teaching was graded and delivered orally to the neophyte, and under these circumstances of secrecy, the Egyptians developed secret systems of writing and teaching and forbade the initiates from writing what they had learned. So, as you can tell, really fascinating book, um, Stolen Legacy. Um, so, you see, we have a lot of things, lots of things that we think we know, but we really don't know. As you can tell from this book, because I've actually read this book, and if you ever read this book, you're gonna come up with you're gonna come to so many surprises because it's really really fascinating. Uh, what else have we got? Okay. Like I said, I'm really into the zodiac, into astrology. So there's another book I've got which is called The Guide to the Zodiac. It was written by Jonathan Keynes. Okay, there you have it. A Guide to the Zodiac. I think this book is pretty much self-explanatory. This okay. Jonathan Gaynor is one of the world's most highly regarded astrologers, authoritative, perceptive, and always entertaining. In this easy-to-follow guide to the zodiac, he explains the secrets of your sun sign, the magic of your moon sign, your unique wheel of destiny, what kind of lover you are, what the planets reveal about your relationships, how to predict the future, and much more. So there you have it, a guide to the zodiac by Jonathan Kane. Jonathan Kane. Right. Okay. What else have we got here? Got another fascinating book here. It's called the Shona Peoples. Shona Peoples. It was written by Bod Baudelin. Michael Baudelin. There you go. The Shona's people. So this book is actually quite dear to me because I am actually a Shona. I'm from Zimbabwe, so it talks a lot about my people. At the back, it doesn't really say much, but it says this is an updated and revised edition of a book which is regarded as the best synthesis of ethnographic research so far done among the Shona people. So, if you really want to know everything about the Shona people, as far as religion and culture and beliefs, and rituals and that kind of stuff, this is your book. This is your guide. So, I value this book the most. Really, really beautiful. Uh, Okay, I'm not gonna go through the back. Okay, okay, hang on. No worries. There you have it. The ancient Greeks. It was written by Thomas Hudson. Yeah, the ancient Greeks. Um, it's okay. At the back it says the contents include the story of the Greeks from prehistory through the Persian Wars and Roman conquests to the Ottoman Empire. So basically, it tells the history of the Greek people. So there you have it, the ancient Greeks by Thames and Hudson. Okay, what else have we got? Right, I've got a book called The Power of the Now. Power of the Now. It was written by a fella called A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, written by Eckhart Tolle. I think I spelled that right. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Eckhart Tolle. Is it Eckhart Tolle? Something like that. Apparently, it's the international bestseller. Even Oprah Winfrey recommends this book, so it must be. Hopefully, I think it must be fantastic. It says at the back here, open yourself to the transforming experience of the power of the now. A hugely successful and internationally best-selling author, Eckhart Tolle guides us through a challenging but extraordinary, rewarding journey to the power of the now. We learn that we can find our way out of psychological pain. Authentic human power is found by surrendering to the now. The silence and space all around us is one of the keys to entering inner peace. In the now, the present moment, problems do not exist. In the now, we discover that we are already complete and perfect. Wow, that's amazing. So there you have it, The Power of the Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. If I'm not, I'm really, really sorry. Okay. Um, Again, I've got another book by Malidona Patrice Some. You remember the guy who wrote this book, The Healing Wisdom of Africa? He's got another book that I've got here. It's called a Ritual, Power, Healing, and Community. Yeah, it's called a Ritual, Power, Healing, and Community. It says in this remarkable book, Malidoma Some explains the essential role a ritual plays in maintaining community and examines the structure common to all rituals. By telling stories of the rituals of his native West African Dagara culture and of his own experiences in the tribal community, he makes a convincing case that the lack of rituals in the Western world is fundamental reason that the fabric of society is unraveling. So there you have it. Sounds like a really fascinating book. You haven't actually quite read it yet, but yeah, quite fascinating. Right. Another book that is in my library. It's called The Chakras and the Human Energy Fields. It was written by Shafika Karagula, MD, and Dora van Gelder Kunz, Kunz. I hope that's how you pronounce his. Sounds like a lady. Pronounce her name, surname. So it's called The Chakras and the Human Fields. Shafika Karagula and Dora van Gelder Kunz or Kings. I don't know. Right. So there you have it. Says this fascinating book uh, marks a medical breakthrough based on numerous case histories of a physician who worked with a clairvoyant healer in diagnosis with scientific blinds. Every conclusion is based on experimental evidence drawn from patient profiles in which the disease process shows itself in anomalies in human energy fields and their corresponding force centers or chakras. So there you have it. So basically, as you can tell, what this book is literally saying is sometimes um, some of the diseases that we suffer from, they are spiritual diseases. They are probably need to be healed on a spiritual level, not just on a physical level. So that's what this book tries to prove. So it's called The Chakras and the Human Energy Fields. Yeah. Okay. Next book I've got, it's called The Conversations with God, and it was written by Neil Donald Walsh. Conversations with God. It was written by Neil Donald Walsh. Uh-huh. In this book at the back it says, uh, okay, the dial. Okay, you are always part of God because you are never apart from God. This is the truth of a being. We are whole, so now you know the whole truth. Basically, those few sentences actually sums up the whole book because I've actually read this book, and that's exactly what Neil Donald Walsh is trying to explain in this conversation with in this book, Conversations with God. Fascinating book. I've actually read it 2 times, and I'm probably gonna read it third time because that's how much I love it. Right. So, okay. My next book in my library. Hold up. Next book. Sorry about that. Next book in my library is called "The Secret Teachings of All Ages." The Secret Teachings of All Ages, an encyclopedic outline of Masonic, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, and Rosicrucian symbolical philosophy. It was written by Manly P. Hall. There you go. Secret Teachings of All Ages, an encyclopedic outline of Masonic, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, Rosicrucian symbolical philosophy. It hasn't got a summary at the back here, but I think, as you can tell, um, the title pretty much says it all, really. Everything that you need to know about different religions. Okay. Uh, right. Just running through my books here. Okay. Okay. The other books that I've got quite, to be quite honest, I've got quite a lot. So probably I'm not gonna go through all of them. So I'm probably just gonna do 2 or 3. Then that's it. Um, So yeah, there you go. I've got the Corpus Hermeticum, Corpus Hermeticum, Hermes Trismegistus. Anyone who doesn't know about the Corpus Hermeticum, um, I'll just read the summary at the back for you. It says, it seems that uh, Corpus Hermeticum's text was written between 2nd century BC and 3rd century AD. It consists of a set of writings that arrived to us in Greek and Latin. The Latin translation of the text done by Marsilio Ficino as an incarnable was printed for the first time in 1471. This work was attributed to mythical Hermes Trismegistus, which means Hermes 3 times big. This text had a certain importance in the first centuries of the church, and it was popular until the Middle Ages, having inspired Hermetic writings which started to bloom at that time. In the end of the 17th century, some writers stated that the text was a fake. This hypothesis had to be totally denied when Corpus Hermeticum manuscripts were found in 1945 in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, in Coptic. Today, experts believe the text is at least about 2,000 years old. So, ladies and gentlemen, this book right here, the text that in here is exactly 2,000 years old. A fascinating book. Um, Next book that I've got is it was written by Walter Williams, and it's called The Historical Origin of Christianity. Walter Williams, The Historical Origin of Christianity. Okay, a run quick through at the summary at the back says, during the past 20 years, my life's commitment has been to researching and finding out all that I could to resurrect the ancient Egyptian consciousness among my people. We have gone through African slaves, to coloreds, to Negroes, to blacks, and now to African Americans. The information written in this book is very vital to our community at this time in world history. If we are to advance ourselves out of this mental and spiritual confusion, we must have the knowledge of what happened to our ancient Egyptian ancestors in the past in order for us to know what has to be done in the future. So basically, there you have it. That's what this book is all about. It goes into detail the fundamental roots of Christianity, right? Because Christianity, as we know it today, was completely different from the way it started. So that's what this book goes through about. Right. What else? Like I said, I haven't. I'm not gonna show you. I can't go through. If I'm gonna have to go through all my books here, I'll probably need an hour for this video. So the next book I've got here is The African Origin of Civilization. The African Origin, the African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality. It was written by Sheikh Anta Diop, very, very popular and fascinating author, researcher, scholar. Um, right? And the African origin of civilization, myth or reality, um, presents Dr. Diop's main thesis that historical, archaeological, and anthropological evidence supports the theory that civilization of ancient Egypt, the, the first that history records, was actually Negroid in origin. The present volume contains over 50 illustrations, many of them newly selected for this book, which further document Dr. Diop's theories. The author has written a new preface and conclusion for this edition. So there you have it. So lots of people are of the opinion that the oldest and probably the best civilization that ever was Egypt. But Sheikh Anta Diop, he actually postulates that it really wasn't the Egyptians civilization. There was another civilization prior to Egyptian civilization, which was a Negroid or African, um, proper African civilization that probably the Egyptians got all their knowledge, wisdom, and academia from. So there you have it. Fascinating book too. The next book that I've got is called The Outline, an Outline of Occult Science. Says here at the front, it is not a question of merely making certain communications, presenting them in a manner consistent with consensus view for the corresponding plane of life is the real challenge. This is the plane where the loftiest ambitions are often headed poorly, and where knowledge and superstition can become confused one with the other. It was written by Rudolf Steiner, PhD. Right, it hasn't got a summary at the back, so I think I've just give you the summary real quick there. Okay, right. What's the next book that we should go through? Actually, I can't go without showing you this book, African Mythology. African Mythology, fascinating book. It was written by Geoffrey Parinda. It's quite a long summary here, so I'm not going to go through it. But really, it deals with African mythology. So there you have it. Alright, what else have we got? Alright, just bear with me 2 seconds. There's just a couple of books that I really want to show you. Alright, there you have it. Actually, 3 books that I really want to show you. The first one is an intro. Okay, let me just show you properly. It's called An Introduction to Mythology. Introduction to Mythology. This is an authoritative guide to the study of myth, first published in 1921. It was intended to explain the methods used by scholars in the field and to show how the myths of the world can most helpfully be categorized according to theme and origin. So every mythology that you need to know, and how it originated, and how it should be, how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to read it, and how you're supposed to understand it, is all written in this book. Fascinating book. I've actually read about the first 2 chapters of this book. Fascinating. Okay, I'm just gonna run quick with these books now. This is the Kybalion, the 3 Initiates. A study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece. This book deals with Hermetic philosophy. I think I've just shown you the Hermetic Corpus Hermeticum. It's all about Hermetism. So it hasn't got a summary at the back, but I think you've just seen it. A study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece by the 3 Initiates. Okay. Next book. It was written by John Allegro. John Allegro. There you have it. I forgot his name there for 2 seconds. The Dead Sea Scrolls. Fascinating book. Fascinating book. Right. All right. Last but not least. Last but definitely not least, is a book called The Occult Origins of Science In the Search of the Mind of God, The Forbidden Universe, and it was written by Lynn Picknett and Clive Prince. So it is the occult origins of science and the search for the mind of God. There you go. The Forbidden Universe. At the back it says, one of the most fascinating books I've read. Okay, this is just a commentary of somebody there. One of the key books in the Da Vinci Code's bibliography and the original source of a number of the novel's theories about Leonardo, the Templars, and the Priory of the Scene. Right. To be quite honest, I've actually read this book, and if I tell you exactly what's in this book, what it deals is all about, I'll probably just give it away because it's a pretty much simple and straight to the point. But to be quite honest, I can give you a clue that it deals with Hermetism again. It's all about a Hermetism too. So, yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I can't go through with you all my books. I've got a big pile of books on the floor here, so I can't go through all of them. So this was just an introduction to the things that I'm going to be talking about, the things that we're going to be discussing on this channel, and so it's kind of like deals with theology, Hermetism, Astrotheology, um, Motifs and Symbols, hidden knowledge, stuff like that, spirituality, chakras, uh, metaphysics. So it's kind of like a variety, a wide range of subjects, but they still do with kind of like one umbrella subject, which is spirituality and hidden knowledge. Basically, that's what this channel is going to be like. It's going to be all about. So I'm really sorry if I've been rambling on for too long. This is supposed to be my first video. This is supposed to be an introduction video. So hopefully you get like a kind of like a clue of the trajectory of this channel, and you're gonna get. Hopefully you have a bigger picture of the kind of person I am really, and the kind of things that I'm gonna be dealing with. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully my second video is going to be better, better prepared, better presented, and it's definitely not going to be this long. um, I'm going to try to script my presentation, so that it's kind of like coordinated, so I'm not going to be all over the place. So hopefully as time goes on, I'm going to get better and better. So thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully you're gonna subscribe and like this video, and you're gonna come back for more, and I'm gonna keep on delivering more. Thank you so much. Leave a comment, and if you've got anything that you want to ask or anything that you kind of like disagree with, please do leave a comment. I love to talk with you guys. I like to share ideas with you. I love to communicate with you and interact with you. So thank you so much. It's your boy Tabs. Thank you. Knowledge TV. One love.